Have you ever wondered what the secret of tax savings is? It is your bookkeeping. Welcome. Today, we're going to dive into how bookkeeping is much more than tracking income and expenses. It's the foundation of your biggest tax savings opportunities. So, why does this matter? If you're like many business owners, you're likely leaving money on the table simply because your bookkeeping is not where it needs to be. So without clear books, you are overpaying on your taxes. That's pretty much guaranteed because you're missing expenses. You might not be keeping track of all of your income or might have income in there that isn't really income. And we won't know that unless you're doing your bookkeeping and having it done professionally. If you haven't taken accounting classes, uh, you just may not know what you don't know. That's what I find a lot of people in small businesses. They want to save money, they want to do it themselves, but at the same time, they just don't know what they don't know. So that's key. Make sure that you're hiring a professional. Tax planning is only as strong as your data. So if you're like, I want to make sure that I am getting as many tax savings, uh, implementing tax planning, that only works if you have strong data that we can go off of. It needs to be timely, it needs to be correct and accurate. And if we don't have that, it makes it really hard to see what we can do with the business in order to start implementing tax strategies for you. 90% of tax savings rely on clean books. I cannot emphasize that enough. 90% of tax strategies rely on clean books. So if we don't have clean books, we can't do tax strategies for you. It's as simple as that. That's why a lot of the times, if we find that you do not have good bookkeeping, we recommend that we take over the bookkeeping. Otherwise, we just can't help you. And also, the last thing is the IRS expects accurate and timely records. So, what really is bookkeeping? Like, what is it really? It is tracking your income and expenses. But like I mentioned a little bit ago, just because money is going into your bank account, it may not actually be income. If it's a loan or maybe you're having to put money in, that is not classified as income. And if you don't know that, your income may be higher than it really is. It's only for like services that you do for clients, or if you're selling products, your income is really only based off of that information. If you're doing investments and stuff like that, like interest income, that gets included in there too. And then expenses. There's a lot of things. I get questions all the time of what can I write off? Well, you need to know those items and what truly is an expense, what is 100% write-offable, what is 50% write-offable, what is not write-offable. And if you don't know those, your books may be off. So bookkeeping is making sure that all of those transactions get categorized correctly. We do it every single week for our clients. Sometimes you only need to have it done monthly, but it's done every single month. And then it's reconciling the bank accounts every single month. It's reconciling all the credit cards every single month. You'll be surprised at how many clients I see that come in who've been doing it themselves, or maybe someone else has been doing it for them, and their credit cards are not put in. Their bank statements are not reconciled. Their credit cards are not reconciled. How do we know if we have all of your expenses if everything's not reconciled? You just don't. So also with that, you have to keep documentation and receipts. You cannot rely just on the bank account, the bank statements, or the credit card statements. If you get audited, that stuff does not hold up in court. You actually need to have the documentations and those receipts. So after everything's reconciled, we do a review of your account to make sure, having that second set of eyes on everything. And then we create financial reports for you. Normally they're a balance sheet, profit and loss. If you need other reports like a cash flow statement or accounts payable or accounts receivable reports, we can get those to you too. It's more bookkeeping, just so you know, it is more than just entering numbers into QuickBooks. Bookkeeping is your financial foundation. It's kind of like brushing your teeth before you go to the dentist. Like it's the foundation of your business. It's where everything starts. So I cannot stress how important that is. So what's the connection between bookkeeping and taxes? Tax strategies like income shifting, depreciation, retirement planning, and entity optimization only work if your numbers are reliable. Because a lot of times there's income limits, and we need to be able to take into account what your net profit is from your business. And sometimes if you're above an income limit, we may have to find workarounds to be able to do that. It's not a matter of it can't happen anymore. It's a matter of how to make it happen. But the how needs to happen correctly. And if our numbers are off because you don't have accurate books, then that leads to another problem down the road, right? So if there's no clean books, there's no strategic strategies, there's no strategic deductions. And if we're missing write-offs, like sometimes we're missing expenses that you just don't know about, it means you're going to have a higher tax bill, and no one wants to pay more money to the IRS, right? All right, some real world examples of missed savings that I see happen all the time. So if you're missing some of these deductions, this could be you are overpaying your taxes by $10,000 to $20,000 just because your books were not dialed in. So do not let this be you. All right. The first one is missed home office deduction. Yeah, it's something. We can take it. I cannot stress to you how important tracking your business mileage of your vehicles are. So do it. I always tell people the app that I use is called Mile IQ. It's like $5 a month. It is a business deduction. You get to write that off, and then it helps you keep track of your miles. Swipe right for business, swipe left for personal, and you literally have a GPS of this is all my business stuff, and the IRS can't argue with that. Unless everything's 100% business. Like if you're truly treating it as business and personal, then they can see that. All right, the third one is meals and travel is categorized incorrectly. So there are certain rules that you have to follow if you're going to be doing travel. Meals, very few things for meals can be 100% write-offable. The majority is now 50% write-offable. We need to know the difference of that. Number four, you don't have any documentation for contractor payments. So if you're hiring contract labor, one, you need to have a W-9 on file for them, because if they make more than 600 or more during the year, you need to pay them a 1099 at the end of the year. But also you should have invoices and stuff from them that you're paying. So that's just another thing. And then the last item is the missed QBI deduction due to poor net income reporting. So QBI is wonderful. It's like if you make $100,000 net profit, you get to take a QBI deduction. It's 20%, or it has been in the past. 20% where you get like a haircut right off the top. So then you're only paying your federal income taxes on 80,000. So if you make 100,000, 20%, and you're paying 80,000 taxes on. So bookkeeping helps you time deductions. So this is why it's really, really important that your bookkeeping is done throughout the year, done monthly, it's done timely, it's done accurately, because we need to be able to plan throughout the year. Do not come to me in November and December of, I want to start implementing strategies. No, we need to do it now, that we have time to be able to look to see how the business is doing. What can we implement? What can we do for you? So some of the stuff that we can capture before year end is making sure that we capture section 179, or bonus depreciation. By the way, bonus depreciation is going back to 100%. And I want to say he said that was permanent also. But it's only if they can get it passed through the Senate. So that's where it's at right now. You can pay kids, spouse legally before 12/31. But again, you can't just pay them. There's stuff that you need to do to implement it, make sure that it's done properly in case you get audited. It stands up in court. Okay. We can fund your retirement plans in time. So this is really, really important. You can prepay expenses to lower your taxable income. Good bookkeeping gives you real-time data so you can act before December 31st and not panic in April when you get that bill. So that's why it's important that you come now and go book your discovery call, and let's get working with you now to start tax planning. Tax planning is throughout the entire year, not just a December, like December 31st is the deadline. Like, and we need time. My calendar as of October was completely full, all of November and all of December. You could not get into me if you called during those months because my calendar was booked a month out in advance due to people wanting to get these strategies done. So do not wait. Also, I want you to know that bookkeeping helps you defend in an audit. So the IRS wants the receipts and categorized proof. Do not rely on bank statements. That is not enough. Do not rely on the credit card statements. That is not enough. You need clean reports, and that will give you a good audit defense. Also, if we're going to take mileage, you need to have mileage logs. We need to have payroll reports for payroll. If we're doing taking contract labor, we need to have 1099s done. And this all starts with your bookkeeping. Bookkeeping also powers tax strategy. So we can make sure that you have the correct entity set up. A lot of times people should be an S corp when they're not, or they have an S corp set up and they haven't made money in forever, or they're set up as a C corp. And it just doesn't make sense. So we're going to take a look at that to make sure you're set up properly. There's a thing called the Augusta Rule. We can make sure that if you can use that, we're going to use it, but also make sure that it's all set up properly for that. Again, it's audit proof because you can't just do something because you heard about it on TikTok. Those are selling videos. Those are trying to get you to do things. They're not hey, this, and not everyone qualifies for them either. And if you do a tax strategy, you have to make sure that it's done properly. There's rules around these tax strategies that you have to know, and that's what we're here to help you. You can also go ahead and hire your kids and your spouse. Again, there's rules that need to be done to get you the tax savings that you're looking for. There's R&D tax credits. Yes, this is even for non-tech. So if we think that you qualify for that, we'll get you in contact with the people who can help you get that done properly. And then there's real estate professional status. There's so many rules that go into the real estate professional status, whether it's passive or active, and how that affects your taxes. Those are all things that we analyze to make sure that we're getting the best bang for the buck for you. And then also, your bookkeeping helps you grow. So what I mean by that is you're going to know your profit margins. Are you charging enough to your clients? Where can we cut things? Maybe we need to implement profit first. But with having good bookkeeping, you'll be able to keep track of your KPIs and your cash flow. If you talk to any business coach, they're always telling you to know your numbers, know your numbers, know your numbers. That's what KPIs are, key performance indicators. Um, there's ones that you can look at in the past to see where you've been, but there's also ones that you can look at going forward to see where you're going. And we need to be looking at both of them and all of them. And this is so important. I'm actually going through another little training and having a little bit of help, even with my company doing this. And I've been keeping track of these things, but I've only been looking at them monthly. And they're like, no, we need to look at KPIs weekly because if you only look at them quarterly or if you look at them monthly, say if you look at them quarterly, you only have 4 areas to improve, 4 times to be able to relook at things and be like, you know what, I can turn this around and improve. If you're looking at it monthly, that gives you 12 chances to be like, oh, we're not on target to reach our budget. So now we have 12 times the chance to be able to turn things around to look at them. Weekly, we have 52 chances to be able to turn things around in the business and get it back on track and correct it and figure out what's wrong. What issues do we have? So that's something new I've just learned in the last week or two. And I'm just like, holy cow. So now we are looking at our KPIs weekly. And it makes sense. It totally makes sense. Okay, so the other thing is we can identify tax savings investments for you. Um, use real numbers to go ahead and forecast out where you're going to be and what things are looking for. And again, this is kind of cash flow stuff. And then it also having good bookkeeping helps you qualify for loans or to sell your business. And I used to get so many referrals from the bank because people would come in for a loan and their bookkeeping was horrible. They knew it wasn't right. So I would go in and fix their bookkeeping for them for that way they can go and get a loan. So the loan, the banker was happy because they were able to go ahead and give out a loan and make interest on it. The owner was happy because they need a loan for maybe they were growing or they needed some sort of equipment they needed a loan for. And then of course, it brought in more business for me. So all around, it was a great win. What is the difference between DIY, do it yourself, versus delegation? So when you are a small business owner and you are DIYing it, basically you are losing time doing something you do not like or really know how well, know well enough to do, and it's leading to potential mistakes. So the majority of small business owners, they are really, really great at whatever they are doing. And it could be in construction or veterinarian or having a bar, cooking food, like whatever it is, like they're really great at doing what they do and selling for that business, like and increasing the sales and getting their name out there. They're normally not really great at doing the bookkeeping and accounting. So one, it's taking time away from doing what they love. They could be selling way more than it takes them. It might take them 8 hours to do their bookkeeping, or it might take us 4 hours. So 8 hours of their time just got lost where they could have been selling and bringing in more money that way. So having a bookkeeper, that's something that you could delegate out. One, it will free up your time. You'll be doing what you love. We will take that off for you, give you that peace of mind that's done correctly, it's done accurately, it's done on time, it's organized, and we'll let you know if we see any issues, right? So the next level above a bookkeeper is if you need CFO help or if you need tax advisory. Okay, so CFO, every business needs a CFO, certified financial officer. And what they do is they look at your books, they look at the business from a top level. They can see exactly what's working and what's not working. And then we do this as on a fractional level. So it'd be me helping you on a fractional level. I'll come in and help you. Like we're gonna be looking at those KPIs. We're gonna be figuring out what's working and what's not working. And then we're gonna work together on fixing what's not working and get it back on track again so that you can reach your goals for your business and your goals for your personal. Um, and make sure that you're bringing in that cash flow that you need to reach all your personal goals. Um, and a tax advisor, this is when you're like, I'm paying too much money on taxes. What can I do? What strategies can I implement? Like doing tax planning. And we're working together to find out what exactly, like with your whole big life, your business, your personal, what's going on both. What can we do to help implement tax strategies into your business that will save you taxes on your personal? Like basically, we are helping you invest in your financial foundation. So don't let you be the bottleneck in your business. Delegate to the professionals so you can focus on growth. All right, are you ready to stop guessing and start saving? Let's talk about how we can partner to build your financial foundation. You can go ahead and book a discovery call with us, and we can see how we can best help you. We can either, like maybe you just need bookkeeping, maybe you need tax savings, maybe you need both, maybe you need CFO. Go ahead and click the button for a 15-minute free discovery call. Also, if this was helpful for you, go ahead and subscribe to this. I am a part of Mark J. Kohler's certified tax advisor. So I love helping small businesses figure out where they can save on taxes. And if this was helpful, please go ahead and comment and share it out. Thank you.